How's it going, everybody? Today is a pretty interesting day because today I get to talk about something that has interested me for a while now, and that is the many Hawk personas that are inside Bruce Banner's fractured mind. I just want to talk about them because not a lot of people talk about them, not a lot of people know about them, and they don't know what they represent, what they mean, how many Hawk personas there are inside Bruce's head. They only know about the typical main green savage child Hawk that pretty much has been written to death lately. So I just wanted to talk about all the other unique versions of those Hawk personas and do a little deep dive into them. If not a deep dive, then just a general overview of these characters that are inside Bruce's head. Also, just to get this out, I'm not talking about other versions of the Hawk, other like multiverse versions. I'm not talking about other Hawk monsters. I'm not talking about like the Red Hawk or She-Hawk. I'm not talking about Maestro or like power-ups like Hawk Squared or the Dark Hawk. I'm only talking about canon Hawk personas that are inside Bruce's head, because I know there's going to be some jackass in the comments asking me, "Hey Elijah, why didn't you talk about Red Hawk? Why did you talk about Red She-Hawk?" Because I don't want to. That's why. I'm only talking about the personas that are inside Bruce's head. All right, let's get into it. The first one is possibly the easiest one to talk about, and it's the one that everybody knows. It's the big green bean Goliath that everybody loves and has read about and has watched in the movies. The one who likes dogs and eats beans and all that other shit. He is the Savage Hawk, otherwise known as the Child Hawk. This Hawk, as I said, everybody knows about him, so I'm not going to go too deep into him, but basically he's the personification of all the rage and hatred that he has for his dad. So basically he's that inner child that has been beaten and abused by his drunken father, and he takes that all out on the planet because everybody wants to kill him, and he thinks those people are like his dad, beating on him for no reason. So of course he's going to be angry, and that's where he gets his power from. But he's more than just a giant green monster who wants to smash things. He's actually quite nice. He wants friends, and he wants to be loved. But the problem is he doesn't understand why people want to kill him, because he's a giant monster that destroys things, unfortunately. And he's basically has a child's mind, so he just sees the world as an extension of himself. And that's kind of like why he talks like a little baby, and why he's basically just a giant green baby man with the strength of 20,000 elephants. And so yeah, other than that, everybody else knows what he is. You know who he is, I know who he is, so I'm not going to go too deep into that overview. But yeah, that is the Savage Hawk, otherwise known as the Child Hawk. Now let's get into some more interesting versions of these personalities, why don't we? After the Savage Hawk, I would say the most popular, or at least the second most popular version of the Hawk is, of course, the Grey Hawk, who's also known as Joe Fixit. Now, he's kind of weird in that he's technically the first Hawk when the Hawk first started out. Technically, he is canonically and non-canonically. When he was first created, Hawk was supposed to be gray, but then all the printing stuff made the inks look like it was green rather than gray, so Stan Lee was just like, let's just make him green from now on because people already think that he's green. And that was basically the story for that. But in story, in canon, he was actually gray the first time, and he had the personality of the Grey Hawk, but the Grey Hawk's personality was pushed away, and the Child Hawk was created as the main personality of the Hawk. That's just how that went. Until he was reintroduced in the 80s by Peter David, who used him for most of his stories, at least the first half of his stories, as the main character and the main Hawk. He's the shortest and the weakest Hawk, but he's also the Hawk with the most personality, and he's also the Hawk with the most drip, the most swag, because he also worked as a lake breaker in Las Vegas for the mob and the mafia and stuff like that, and he fought those guys. And he's also just really cool. He's my second favorite version of the Hawk, just below another version that we'll probably talk about later. Also, he's basically the teenager version of Bruce Banner that Bruce never allowed himself to be, so he's basically just all those repressed thoughts and feelings. So he's basically just a giant, horny, hedonistic asshole, to put it bluntly. That's just what the Grey Hawk is. But he's also quite kind. He also does care for people, even though he seems to be pretty selfish most times. He does care for all of his friends and stuff like that, if in his own way. And he's generally much more crafty. He doesn't want to smash everything. He's way more intelligent than the Green Hawk, and he can speak in full sentences. So, there's that going for him. And as I said, he's got the most drip. Just look at this shit. This is some top tier shit right here. The pinstripe suit and the hat and shit like that. It's pretty epic. Another thing that's unique for this Hawk is the fact that he only comes out at night. When I say he was repressed, he was really repressed. Bruce really didn't like this version of himself being out there. He was scared that what people would think of him. So because of that, Bruce subconsciously created like this sort of blocking of him, so now this version of the Hulk cannot come out during the daytime. He can only come out during the night, and whenever he does come out during the daytime, it basically like burns his skin. It literally physically hurts him. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting thing that happens with the Grey Hulk. But let's just get into the other ones, why don't we? Next up, we have the Merc Hulk, otherwise known as the Professor. Now, this character is a bit complicated, at least his origins is. Originally, he was quite literally a merged Hulk. After some pretty intense psychotherapy with Doc Samson, the merged Hulk was created as a way to merge the Green Hulk, Joe Fixit, and Bruce Banner. So he has like the suave personality of the Grey Hulk, the incredible strength of the Green Hulk, and Bruce Banner's intelligence. So he was basically the best of all three worlds, and that was his entire conception. That was what he was supposed to be. Until he was reintroduced in 2000 by Paul Jenkins, where he was created not as a merged version of those characters, but rather as an entirely separate personality that was created by Doc Samson as a way for Bruce to see himself as his most ideal version of what he could be. So he's basically the most ideal version of what Bruce wants to be. He, you know, the suaveness, the intelligence, the strength. He's basically the perfect version of Bruce Banner, and that's what Bruce wanted to be all this time. And then Bruce realized, wait a minute, this being isn't me. This is just a version of me that I want to be. And, you know, the merged Hulk realized this and stopped calling himself Bruce and called himself the Professor. Unfortunately, we haven't seen the Professor for a while now, which is sad because he's really interesting and he has some of the best stories. Like, he was in the golden age of the Hulk when Peter David was writing him. And, you know, as I said, he has some of the best stories. A lot of it was really cool. Like, look at this guy. He was fighting in different countries, and we were working with like the Pantheon, which was like a team of superheroes. It was really fucking cool. He was like wearing bunny slippers and he was shooting guns. It was awesome. There is one weird aspect to his powers, and that is whenever he gets too angry, he actually reverts back to Bruce Banner, but with the mind of the Savage Hulk, which is really weird. Originally, that wasn't the case. He didn't put those blocks inside of his mind, but as the story progresses, apparently Bruce subconsciously just created those mental blocks in order for the Hulk to not rampage anymore. So that was the entire reason why the merged Hulk is considered the weakest version, because he literally cannot get stronger. When he gets angrier, he just gets weaker. Also, unfortunately, he was portrayed in the MCU as an entire dumbass. So, you know, that's just sad. Now people think that the smart Hulk is lame and weak, which, you know, he is technically weak, but he's not lame. He's really fucking interesting. And it's just a shame what the MCU did to this character, because he's actually really fucking cool. But I guess we'll never get a cool version of the Professor ever. I don't even think we'll get the Professor ever, because he hasn't shown up since like 2001. Unfortunately, he's been like totally forgotten and discarded. Hopefully he'll show up, who knows. He was mentioned in the Immortal Hulk run, so, you know, maybe some writer will remember him and bring him back into the mainstream, but I have doubts. I have hopes and I have doubts, so who knows. Next up, we have the Guild Hulk. The Guild Hulk is basically all of Bruce's fears personified into a giant green monstrosity, whatever the hell this thing is. It also calls himself Brian because I guess Bruce's fears personified is basically just his father. I guess that makes sense. His father was a giant jackass who killed his mother, so I guess it's understandable why he would think a giant monster that has all of his fears is also his dad. And yeah, it's fucking scary. It's fucking, you know, it's horrifying what this thing is. He's basically what Bruce Banner thinks his father is, which is kind of true. It's why whenever he thinks back to when his father killed his mother, he usually thinks of this giant creature and not just a regular man. So yeah, that's basically it. He's created in the deepest, darkest corners of Bruce Banner's mind, and he should probably stay there, and he has stayed there for a while now. He's been beaten back by the other Hulk personas, thankfully, so he'll never probably manifest into Bruce's body anytime soon. Thank God. Up next, we have possibly everybody's favorite version of the Hulk, or at least everybody who's I've talked about to, and that is the Green Scar. The Green Scar is a Hulk persona that was created during the time when Hulk was on the planet of Sakaar and was turned into a gladiator. So this Hulk manifested as a way to adjust to that sort of new area that he's been put into. And he, you know, obviously he's quite likable, at least he's quite interesting. Everybody loves him because of how powerful he is, as he's basically the most powerful version of the Hulk that we have thus far. He's probably the tallest version as well, and he's the only version that can turn on the World Breaker mode, which is basically Bruce Banner taking away any sort of limits he subconsciously puts on the Hulk and making him the strongest being in the fucking planet that can destroy entire planets. Well, yeah, everybody likes him because of that, and for good reason. He's pretty cool. He was during the whole Greg Pak era of the Hulk comics, and he was like the main persona for a while now. And yeah, I like him too. I like his power, I like his strength. He sort of has the Grey Hulk's personality, so he's a lot smarter than the regular Green Hulk, and he's also pretty clever. He's a great general. He knows how to fight with swords and other weapons and whatnot, and he knows how to be patient and stuff like that, so I think that's pretty cool. However, after Greg Pak's run, he disappeared into Bruce's mind. Apparently he wanted to help fix up Bruce's trauma after a while, so that's why he went back into the darker depths of his mind. And then he showed up in the Immortal Hulk, but it turns out this version isn't actually the Green Scar. It's actually just the leader managing to go into Bruce's mind through the green door and took the Green Scar's body and was able to manipulate all the events that happened in the story. That's a whole thing, but basically we haven't really seen the Green Scar since 2008, unfortunately, and I don't know if we'll ever see him again. Hopefully we will, because he's a pretty popular version of the Hulk that a lot of people likes. He was in probably the most popular storylines, the World War Hulk and Planet Hulk, so we'll probably see him again. Who knows? We'll definitely see the World Breaker mode again, 100%. I will bet somebody on that. I will bet money that we'll see the World Breaker again, so hopefully that'll come to be. So yeah, that's the World Breaker Hulk. That's the Green Scar that we all know and love. And finally, we have the Devil Hawk, which is probably one of my favorite versions of the Hawk that we have. He's basically, originally was intended to be just an evil version of the Hawk, similar to the Guild Hawk, the Hawk that just wants to destroy everything and want to kill everybody, all that other stuff that, you typically see from evil, monstrous versions of yourself. But actually, as revealed in the Immortal Hulk, this Hawk isn't actually an evil Hawk. He was actually a protector Hawk. He's basically created for Bruce's need to have a father. And that was the entire purpose of his character, or at least of his being, was to protect Bruce and, keep him safe and keep him loved, make him feel like he's loved and accepted. And that was what the Devil Hawk was supposed to do. But of course, Bruce cannot think of love without pain, so he created him to look like, this thing, a giant fucking lizard man, evil lizard man thing that wants to hurt everybody. And yeah, he does want to hurt people, but only as a way to protect Bruce Banner. Of course, he's also possibly the second or the most powerful Hulk persona that we have, at least that we know of. He has remarkable healing capabilities, even more so than every other Hulk. He could be cut in half, cut in pieces, and just return to that and be totally fine. He also has resurrection abilities, so he can return from the dead. Technically, every Hulk can do that, but he's the only one who realized that he could come back from the dead. He also is more mystically attuned to the gamma radiation, because the gamma radiation is actually devil magic apparently, and it comes from the One Below All, who is the source of evil everywhere. He's the main devil of the Marvel Universe, and the Devil Hawk knows that he draws his powers from the One Below All, so he knows how to use it way more than all the other Hawks. He can also absorb gamma radiation, which is a thing that the Hawk originally couldn't do. That is something that the Red Hawk can do, but not the Green Hawk until now. Now the Hawk can do this because he understands how gamma radiation works. Similar to the Grey Hawk, he also can't come out during the day, but that's an entire other reason. It's not because Bruce fears him, it's simply because that was just originally how he was supposed to go. And later on, he was able to overcome that weakness throughout the series, but it was a little bit too late because he was later killed by the leader, or at least he was sort of destroyed by the leader. We don't know if he came back because that was a whole thing, though. I don't really want to get into it too much, but yeah, he isn't here anymore with us at this moment, but he maybe come back. We don't know. In Phil Kennedy Johnson's run, this version of the Hulk could be the Devil Hawk. We don't know for now. I hope he comes back because he's really freaking cool. I mean, this guy can literally smell lies. How do you smell lies? How the hell does that work? Do the lies have a smell? Do you smell bad? Is that how you can smell them? It's really weird. He also is totally fine being within Bruce Banner, and he bides his time. He is basically just a gut feeling that forces Bruce to go wherever he wants. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And yeah, that's basically it for today. That's all I want to talk about. I just wanted to explain all these Hulk personas. I probably explained them really badly because it's still in my head fresh. But I hope you guys can understand these personas a lot better than what you could before. So yeah, that's basically it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, follow my Instagram, and I'll see you next time.